Not that I can add to what Mrs. Taylor has stated, but I think what makes us a leading lady is to know who we are. If we don't know who we are, then we won't know where we're going. So most importantly, to be a leading lady, you need to know who you are, be focused on that, and determined to fulfill your God-given purpose in life.
Please, I want all of you to answer.
I think that, again, we'll probably be piggybacking all night on what Ms. Taylor said, but being a leading lady, I like what she said, it's a state of mind. It's not all the time what you do or what you say, it's what you think and how you look at yourself as a woman.
I think just for me, being a leading lady is actually, it's a present tense and it's a practice. Every day you have to practice choosing to be a leader in spite of your circumstance. Being HIV positive at 21, I was not a leading lady at that time, right? 25 years later, I can proudly say with great practice, I know who I am. And so I think it is, it's about practice and perseverance and knowing it consciously.
And I believe, like Tony said, knowing who you are and also knowing whose you are. It is most importantly that you know that God is first, you have the Holy Spirit right beside you, so you know whose you are, you know who you are, you know where you're going.
Thank you. Anybody can answer this question. Ms. Taylor mentioned that sometimes we have to go all the way down to the bottom. And we can do that at any age. I know that Ms. Priscilla Barnes said that I'm a missus, and I'm not. I'm a miss. I'm divorced. And that was a difficult time for me. And I think that most women go through difficult times. And I'm just asking you, when we're trying to get to know ourselves, how do we get back from those difficult times and still grow and still learn and all of those things? How have you overcome those difficult times that we've all faced? And how did you come out of that experience a better you?
Well, I'll start out. Keeping myself healthy and fit has been what has kept me together. You know, we're talking about affordable health care. Your most precious insurance is a good, healthy body. You have to concentrate on you, just like Ms. Taylor said. You know, you have to put you first on your agenda. If you are healthy and fit and strong, you can go through just about anything.
Anybody else want to answer that question?
I'll just add, how many of you have seen Alice in Wonderland? Either the cartoon version, the Johnny Depp version, any of the versions. What I love, I rediscovered Alice most recently, and what I loved about Alice was her curiosity, even in spite of falling down the rabbit hole and being upside down and all the other things that happened to her. She had this amazing curiosity for what was next. And to me, that was what helped me when I was your age, sitting in seats like you at the University of Houston. Sitting there thinking that I had a scarlet letter across my chest that said HIV, and everybody saw me, and I was the only one, and nobody knew how I felt, and all of that. But there was just something inside that just kept going, girl, come on now. Girl, come on now. Get it together. Get it together. God, Holy Spirit, my mama voice, grandmother thoughts, whatever it was always just doing it. And so for me, if we're talking about that divine individuality that we have, for me it was really just going, you know what, guess what, world, I have HIV, you deal with it. And I was able to kind of break that pressure that, you know, we put on ourselves, but it was not easy. And it was knowing that I was now like Alex. I'm standing here by myself, about to go through a journey that I didn't see anybody else going through. And it was actually one step at a time, day by day, getting through it with, you know, with just giving it out, putting it out, made it less heavy for me.
that we're overcome by our testimony. And we can be real here today, yes?
Yes.
We're very, okay. I have always been very driven and very, I have a list, a to-do list, not only in my everyday life, but in my life. I'm going to go to school. After I go to school, I'm going to get married. After we get married, I'm going to buy a house. After that, I'll have a baby and blah, and so on and so forth. And I've been very diligent about checking off the things on my list until I got to a point where my list and my self-control took over my life. And I got to a point where I got married very young because it was on the to-do list. As I've been driven to, in terms of my career, I got to a point where I almost lost my marriage. My son almost got taken away from me. Like, there's a lot of things that happen, and you ask when you're down, what do you do to what brings you back up? And the only thing that got me to a place of victory was plugging in and surrendering to what the will and the purpose of that God had for my life, and not trying to control everything myself, and realizing again whose I was and who I was.
We have a minister on the panel who suffered through abuse. I know you have something that you want to say about overcoming obstacles and becoming a stronger person.
Yes. In the epistle to the Philippians, Paul says that there are a lot of things that he had not arrived at, a lot of things that he had not become perfect or mature in. But there was one thing that he became perfect and expertise in, and that was forgetting those things that are behind. And he was pressing forward for the mark of the prize, the high calling of Jesus Christ. I had to forget the things that happened to me. In layman's terms, what I would say to what Paul said was, you have to, 1, stop rehearsing it, 2, start cursing it so that you can reverse it. What that means is the more you talk about what happened to you, the more you live in the moment of what happened to you. And if you continue to live in the moment of what happened to you, then you're going nowhere. You have to get past what happened. I love what Ms. Taylor said, is that life happens to us all. There's not one person in here who has not been abused, either sexually, verbally, or physically, or know someone who has. So life happens to us all in one way or the other. Also, I would say that you need to realize that you cannot move forward as long as you're looking backward. There are 2 statements that were made in my life to me by 2 people that were dear to me, and each of those statements contained 3 words. When I was going through my rehearsing what had happened and woe is me, a friend finally got tired of that and said, get over it. At the time, that really hurt and really made me angry. But when I made a decision to do that, then I did get over it. Another time, someone told me, because I had gotten over it, but I was still living in the effects of what happened to me, and I was talking to someone about really wanting to change that, and that person said 3 words to me: do something different. One of the basic definitions of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. If you want to go forward in life, you can't continue to look backward. You have to forget about what happened to you. When you continue to rehearse it, you allow that offense to take occurrence again and again and again. And you don't want anyone to have that much power over you that they can control your future. You control your future. You have to make a decision that that was then and this is now. And make a decision, a determined decision, to go forward in your life and forget about what happened in the past.
So, that was excellent. Thank you, Pamela. Does anybody have any questions thus far? Come on, guys, interactive. I know we have some questions. Come up to the front, please. And can you say your name?
excuse me for reading off my phone, I was typing it out. My name is Desiree Price. I am an architecture student here. I'm my sophomore year, but around my junior credit hours. So what I wrote down was sometimes when you're a leader, you sometimes lead people astray, not necessarily in the wrongdoing, but just out of leading, you kind of lose focus, or even you lose yourself. Where and how do you get over the hump of failure to continue leading and to get the courage to know that you just took a wrong step and not that you're the wrong leader, and as well as how do you encourage your peers to follow you when something like jealousy or something else is in the way. But you know that you have a steady path and you know you can get people there, but sometimes they don't want to follow you because of the position you're in. Thank you.
She's in education, so she could answer that
Good
one.
question. And the first thing that came to my mind is that, in my opinion, leadership is a calling. And it's not something that you have to ask people to do in leadership. Because of your life and because of what you do and because of your actions, everything that you do is leadership when you are a true leader. And in terms of, I think it was, jealousy and things like that, like Ms. Taylor said, you have to look at the people that you're asking or wanting to follow you. True leaders understand that their purpose is bigger than themselves. That what they're doing is not for them. It's not about you as a leader. It's about everyone else. It's not about you. And once you understand that, then all the outside liars, they don't become important anymore. Why are you leading? What are you leading for? What's the purpose that God has given you to lead in?
Anybody else want to tackle that question?
There's two sayings that I've learned in college and I just absolutely love, and they just stick around. Your silence will not protect you, and be the change you want to see in the world. All of that has to do with you, right? Your silence will not protect you. And I can't really even necessarily honestly put a full title on what leadership means. Because I went from being a single parent to a mother of 4. I'm a leader. I'm good. I got 4 teenagers following me all over the place. And I got to get them to the right place at the right time with the right people, I got to do a lot of work. I'm a leader. And some days I'm sitting at home with my husband going, I don't want to lead tomorrow. I want to be me tomorrow, But I think leadership is really about stepping in the gap. It's stepping in the place where somebody else isn't. And you may make a wrong decision. You may say, everybody go this way, and then go, wait. But a good leader can say, wait, let's go back. Let me rethink. Let's go this way. Leaders are okay to go, oops, and go back and rebuild and fix, because not everybody has successfully led. Look at our country today. We got some leaders not doing too good of a job, right? But if we can just persevere, but when you see that opportunity, when you see that hole, then you step in it. You step in the hole and be committed to making a difference. And if that's not your space, then stay out of it, because then you will mess up somebody else's business.
And true leaders know that a mistake, a setback, is just a setup for a comeback. It's your mindset and how you look at the mistake. And it's what builds character. How can you lead anybody if you've never made a mistake? If you've never failed, So because true leaders, they make a mistake and they fail and they get back up bigger and stronger and better and determined.
One other thing I'd like to add is transparency. Just because you're a leader, be it a mom or a leader in the workplace, doesn't mean you're not going to make mistakes. But be able, even as a leader, to say, especially as a mother, how many times have I had to say, oh, I was wrong. It's okay to say that you made a mistake. Yeah, I said we were going right, but you know what?